Tony, another heavy defeat, 3-4 now. I mean, you spoke a couple of weeks ago about taste and things like that. I mean, how much do your side need to go to find that taste and respond to what's happening?
Some too many. Some of them, some are taking too much taste to get to that point yet. But yeah, it's hurting. Everybody, and understand that. It's horrible when you're in this sort of part of your career and part of your development, and it's tough at the moment, real tough. So yeah, I feel for all those people out there that truly support us. I really do. I feel really sorry for the boys who are out there ripping in and doing everything that they can. I feel a bit for the guys who aren't quite being able to, pull their weight in the right way. I feel for them because I know they'd really like to. But, until we all get in that good enough form to be able to compete at this level, you're not going to get the results. No. It's getting everybody in good enough form to do that. How we do that, we may have to try some different ways. But, and which we probably did second half. We brought on a couple of young blokes who gave us a bit of energy, and we felt that they may bring some energy to us. And I thought they had a real crack at it.
And obviously, Logan Moy, Jack Charles, I presume who you're referring to there. I mean, what were your thoughts on Logan, obviously debuting today, first Super League game? Yeah,
good. Yeah, good. Thought he had a dig. I thought he held his own. I thought he gave us a bit of spark, and he probably got found out a little bit on a couple of tackles, but he's only small, and he was in there having a crack at him. He didn't shirk it, and he wasn't there not to have a crack. He gives everything, Logan, and gave him an opportunity at half time. He did well. I thought he added a fair bit to us. Jack, I thought was good in attack today. He got targeted a fair bit in defence, which we knew that was going to happen, and we knew he'd get a lot of traffic around him. We would have liked to have seen a bit more help for him around that, so he wasn't left pegged by himself as much as he was. And but good experience for those two. Matty Laylaw, he's still one of those kids and he is a kid in terms of his age and stage of his career, and he come on and he held his own as well. So we're going to have to rely on some of these guys. We had 3 injuries from last week, and so we're down to and I don't mean down to, but we're into the junior boys, and I think that's going to help us and help them get some experience. But I think we may have another couple of new faces in next week as well.
You spoke there about other players not pulling the weight. I mean, what are the specifics there? Is it in defence? Is that where your main concerns are?
Oh, absolutely. Defence is our problem. We marched down the field in most games, fairly well, and we troubled Huddersfield enough at times offensively, and you put some pressure on them, and we score some points. But we just don't do that as regular as we need to. So, and what I mean by that is, if you're succumbing in defence yourself and you're having those breaks behind the post, the worst breaks that you can have. If you're having those regularly, it makes it hard for you to attack good. It makes it hard for you to attack good. You're not building pressure. You're relieving pressure all the time. And it's the defensive side of the game that is, been our focus for a long time. And, some haven't got their confidence enough to be able to do even what they want to do, some of them. So, I'm going to have to find some people that can and will and come up with it. But we're going to have some hurdles and bumps, and and some hurt along the way still before we get right on top of that. But, we're at that point where we need to, if some aren't doing it at the moment, well, we're going to have to find the ones that can.
Is there an ability problem in the way you want your side to defend right now, the structures? Because, I mean, you look at the results, it's 350 points in 4 games, and it looks from the outside that there's some issues there ability-wise.
Yeah. One of the criteria of any systems, and I think you put too much focus on systems to some degree, you've got to be able to tackle and make tackles in any system. No, there isn't anybody that uses a unique system. They're all mismatches of pretty much the same sort of thing. They are, worldwide. Everybody pretty much does the same sort of thing. They might tweak something on an edge. One team might go high a little bit more, higher than some might fade back off edges, and there's a mismatch of all of it. What the biggest criteria in any defensive system is, you've got to be able to make a tackle. And when you're not making tackles, you leak points, and that's where we're at the moment. So I don't know it's the systems, Dan, as much as whatever system you use, the big criteria is bend your back and make sure that you get numbers in tackles. We had way too many one-on-one tackles, and that's what I'm talking about with helping out Jack Charles. Don't leave him pegged. He's a young guy. We knew he was going to get targeted. Of course, we want some help around him and not leave him one-on-one, but then get 2s and 3s and multiple people in tackles, and that's what good teams do. And, at the moment, we're not able to do that often enough. We go through periods, and I think it's obvious to see when we do those periods. And most of that second half last week, we did it in the second half, got multiple people in tackles, didn't miss tackles. We went through, I reckon, probably 5 to 10 minute phases today, and then relieved the pressure by mistackling.
Is that a mental thing?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Mental and physical. I'm going to say to you, some of these boys, some of them have been playing. Laney's played 80 minutes again today. Last week he couldn't make the 80 because he did 63 tackles last week. He's been out there. He hasn't been sin binned yet, and he's been out there for most of the matches where there is somebody in the sin bin. He's tired. He's tired at the moment, Laney. Because for good reason. There's some others that aren't so tired that, they're not playing well. They're off their game and their confidence is shot, and I'm not sure that some of them are going to, recover from that. Maybe I've got to put some of them in reserve grade to get some confidence to build their game back up and redevelop their abilities and their confidence in their abilities. So, yeah, some of it's mental, but, what I'm saying physically, for some of them, it is physical as well as mental.
3 sin bins, 2 for Liggy Sal, 1 for Jack Brown. It seems to be a never-ending cycle at the minute. I mean, you get a couple of weeks with a little bit of respite, and then you get 3 today.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's not good. Brownie's, it's a reoccurrence of a technique thing. He lifts a lot in tackles, and that's what happens. And unfortunately, he's working hard in training on trying to change that. But once again, when you fatigue and get tired and you revert back to what you've always done, he's unable at the moment to break that habit enough. He's doing, I've got to say he's making some progress, but on Liggy, Liggy's a competitor, and sometimes, it's split-second stuff. I'm not trying to defend him. I'll have a look at him and say whether he should have or shouldn't have, done what he's done. But, I'm certainly not going to, judge him in here without sitting down and having a look at and having a reasonable assessment of what he's done there. But, he's trying. I know he's trying really hard. He's another guy who, playing big minutes for us, and probably, at times is getting to the point where he's trying to push through for the team and gets a little bit, loose in some areas of his technique, if you like. But, I don't think it's for lack of trying from him.
Also, we know how big of a job this is for you. Obviously, you come in knowing that, but when you see results like this, I mean, that's obviously for a club like this. I know no one in the club is saying that's acceptable and it's not, but how do you get out of it? What do you say to your players after games like that to try, to get them to respond week in, week out?
Get ready for some more hard work and build your resilience. Be tough. Be tough. You've got to toughen up. And I hear it is a big club. It is. It's a very, very, very big club because it's well supported. People think a lot of it, and there's a lot of support out there, and it can be a big and successful club. But it's just been a big club. It hasn't been successful for a long time, Dan. And it needs rebuild. It needs some rebuild. It needs some. It's been a long time since it's been a big four. A big four club.
Are your messages sinking in?
Are my messages
to the players? I mean, we hear a lot about what you want to see from your players, like desperation,
for sure,
urgency,
and some are able to do it better than others. Yeah. Are you asking me? Are they on board with me? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I would like you to go. You can come in as soon as this press conference is over, if you like, and come and have a chat to them as you do anyway. Are they on board with me? Yeah. Am I on board with them? Yeah, there's a couple that I'm questioning whether they're able to do what we need them to do. There is a few, and I'm saying it to you, that some of them may have to go back and rebuild their game in reserve grade, and they may have to rebuild their confidence, and, we may need to rebuild them in all sorts of ways, both physically and psychologically, but the rest of us, we all need to toughen up and get on with the hard work and make sure that we make sure that it doesn't happen again. And it's I've been through this phase with each of the teams that I've pretty much coached, and it's horrible, and nobody likes it. I don't enjoy it, but it is part of what you got to do if you want to be successful. You got to go through some of this. You got to go through some of the pain, and you got to develop some resilience and toughness. And I'm going to say it's not very well taught nowadays. So when some of these things get tough, we tend not to toughen up and face them and go out there and work hard to fix them. We look for excuses and we look for short fixes, and they never work. It's about building resilience, building, tenaciousness, and that sort of where it's enveloped in all of us, and we're going through it at the moment. But to answer your question, yeah, I believe so. But you're welcome to come and talk to all of them.
So the qualities that you're talking about there, you've already said they're in your Logans, they're in your Jack Charleses, there is some other young boys that you're trying to bring